Good morning, students. After a long gap, welcome all of you of class 10 student on physics class. Today we will learn about the heating effect of electric current in our first part of the videos. That in the month of May already we have completed this chapter, but still many comments used to come that sir we have not understood about the Joule's law of heating. So today again we are continuing with the topic Joule's law of heating, or you can simply write heating effect of electric current. Heating effects of electric current. Heating effects of electric current. Heating effect of electric current. What do you mean by heating effect of electric current? The answer is that when electricity is passed through a wire, when electricity is passed through a wire, it becomes hot. Why it become hot? Surely it become hot due to the resistance. It also used to absorb some electricity on it, and this effect was given by a scientist known as James Prescott Joule, commonly known as Joule. So today we have to learn about effect, Joule's law of heating. A law given by scientist James Prescott law, Joule's law of heating. See, actually, this heating effect used to continue from a large duration of time, but after certain time, Joule, that is James Prescott Joule, observed that on what factors, we want to show that on what factors this heating effect depends. So according to Joule's law of heating, heat produced in a conductor, 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 that is denoted by H. Heat produced denoted by H. Heat produced in a conductor is directly proportional to the square of the current. That means heat produced is directly proportional to the square of the current. How much current you will provide to a conductor, that much it will become hot. Less current we are providing, less hot. More current we are providing, more hot. This is the reason you have seen that LED bulb and ordinary bulb. You will see that when you are touching the ordinary bulb, when it is already glowing, of course, when it is already glowing, when you are touching the ordinary bulb, you are feeling hot. But when you are touching the CFL or LED, you are not feeling hot. Why? Because the power consumption in LED is less as compared to the power consumption in ordinary bulb. So heat supplied will be ordinary bulb is more, and in CFL it is less. So, ordinary bulb and CFL. Now, our next topic, C. Now, heat produced is directly proportional to the square of the current. It means as much you are increasing the current, heat produced will be square of that. That means if you are giving the current 2 ampere, then heat produced will be directly proportional to the 4 times. 2 square, that is 4. Now, suppose that is equation 1. After that, he told that the heat produced in a conductor is directly proportional to the resistance. R means resistance. I means current. R means resistance. Means if resistance is more, heat produced will be more. This is the reason why we are using the nichrome or tungsten in the tungsten. We used to use the tungsten in the filament of bulb. We used to use the filament, or nichrome we are using in heating element. In filament of the bulb we are using the tungsten, and in room heater, geysers and other heating element we are using the nichrome. What is the reason behind that? Because they are alloy. Nichrome or tungsten both are alloy, and the resistance of alloy are more as compared to the other metals. That's why resistance is more, and we know that heat produced is directly proportional to the resistance, and if resistance is more, heat produced will be more. Now heat produced is directly proportional to the T. T means time. Heat produced is directly proportional to the time. Why? Because suppose that we will on a bulb and after that we will off. One bulb is working for 2 seconds and second bulb is working for 1 minute. Which will become hot? Surely the second bulb which is working for more duration of time become more hotter than the bulb which is working for less duration of time. That means duration of time matters in the case of heat produced. Overall, if we will combine equation 1, 2 and 3, combining equation 1, 2 and 3, what we will get? Combining equation 1, 2 and 3, what we are getting? We are getting H directly proportional to I square RT. If we will take constant 1, any constant we can take 1, then H will be equal to I square RT. Now why we are not taking any constant here? We are not taking constant because R is already a constant present in that. That's why we cannot take two constant in a equation. We can't take two constant in a single equation. Already we are having a constant resistance. Resistance is a constant. You told that in the Ohm's law. In Ohm's law, resistance already is George Simon Ohm described that R is a constant. So this equation is known as Joule's law of heating equation, and from this equation you will solve different types of numericals related to the Joule's law of heating. Now, okay, this is sufficient for today. Next day again we will start magnetic effect of electric current. You are at home now. Just now I am going to provide you the assignment work, and that assignment work you have to do in your separate file, because your class activity marks, project marks, and the school used to provide you the marks. That marks you are getting from this assignment.